When I first graduated college, I worked in a fabric store. At this time of the year, we would be inundated with people who wanted to make Halloween costumes, all kinds of costumes. I remember one year, it was after E.T. was popular, and there was a pattern for an E.T. costume. Very complicated. Of course, there were the typical witches and ghosts and a few more extravagant costumes. We would go through yards and yards and yards of black fabric. And then as October 31st came closer and closer, the clientele would switch slightly. And it switched away from those people who were going to be endeavoring to make complicated costumes to those who just wanted to get something to wear to a party, probably. And at the last moment was when we often got, well, I'll just say it, men who came into the store who didn't know how to sew, typically. There were also women, of course, last minute. These shoppers usually would show up like October 29th, October 30th. And then on the day of October 31st, that's when we would see a dip in the people coming into the store. Finally, there would be a bit of rest. I am here today to tell you that impending deadlines can be really, really helpful in helping you to focus and get something done. If you want to do something, if you have a project that has been lingering for quite some time, decide to make it a performance. Decide to bring that project from the motivation to start, modification to tweak it and finish it, finally into manifestation. Manifestation is the point where an idea becomes manifest and something tangible for the world to see and observe and read and know about. Manifestation, which I sometimes think of as performance, can be the thing, the trick, the trigger to finishing a project. Halloween is coming up this month. I have been recording and posting a video every day. I'm using the theme of Halloween and spookiness and hauntings, but it doesn't always have to be spooky and Halloweenish. We don't have to be just focusing on witches and goblins and ghouls. We can think of the calendar as a way to focus your attention. I've often said, when I have a deadline, that's when my real creativity comes into play. After I worked at that fabric store, I opened up my own drapery workroom. For 20 plus years, I manufactured and fabricated window treatments, pillows, tablecloths, swags and jabots, federal valances, the kinds of things that you often will see in historic homes, but also places such as the Oval Office, government buildings, things that need to be elevated in a certain way. Valances, swags, and jabots, I have heard these days are not so common. My husband, who I'm calling from here on out my MacGyver, still works in the industry. But me, I have moved on finally. And yet, at this time of the year, I continue to think about those days when I would be trying to finish projects and costumes for my own children a lot of times. I can remember so often finishing up their costumes, maybe on the afternoon of Halloween. When they got into school, they got to participate in various parades and things. And that would be during the day, a couple days before Halloween. So that prompted me to finish things a little sooner. Sometimes I used a pattern. One year I made my son a Power Ranger costume, and he was the Green Ranger. I would often create their costumes basically out of thin air. And I made my daughter a Christmas tree one year. I thought it was adorable. And I'd make costumes for other people every now and then as well. There is nothing like having a deadline, October 31st in the case of Halloween, but giving yourself a deadline, choosing a date on a calendar, telling people about it, going public, that's when you really buckle down and finish things. In school, when I teach, I always have a deadline for my students. And yet, if they don't turn it in on time, I'm kind of a sucker, and I don't take points off for late submissions. In the real world, in the business world, yeah, there are consequences. If you submit your taxes late, I believe you pay a fine. And I'm so afraid of that I've never been late on submitting taxes. But we're talking creativity. We're talking art forms. Invite people over for dinner and test out a new recipe. In the afternoon, you know you're going to buckle down. You want to write a short story? Find a contest to enter. That'll have a date. Sometimes they offer little rewards of a discount for an entry fee if you submit by the early bird date. Sewing projects, well, we typically have gifts in mind, an event that you want to attend and wear something new and different, Christmas, Hanukkah gifts, and yes, back to Halloween. That's all for today. Just wanted to reflect on those days when I worked in the fabric store and the ebb and flow of the customers and all the black fabric. What are you working on today? It's a beautiful day here in New England. Blue sky. Look at that. Ah. And I'm out here on the trails where I like to talk and walk and inspire you. I'm Dr. B, the Creativity Sensei. Leave me a comment. What are you doing? We can help each other. A bientôt.